This week, here we are in the inner sanctum, the players' dressing room, and I'm delighted to be with Simon Amor, the director of rugby. Now, Simon, just for people's benefit, what's the difference between a director of rugby and a head coach? Is there a difference or just a title?
Well, I think it is just a title, to be honest. But in theory, the director of rugby is probably a little bit more strategic, looking at the big picture, and the head coach is a bit more on the ground, I guess. That's kind of the way of differentiating between the two.
And maybe about 10 grand a year, who knows? But looking at the end of last season, that last 10 seconds of last season, your summer changed completely on that 10 seconds, I guess. And you were perhaps anticipating putting your feet up, maybe not quite working as hard as you had to work. But you've now got your squad in place, and we'll come on to some exciting news in a minute. But you're a player coach as well. How do you differentiate? How do you be one of the mates and also the boss at the same time?
The honest truth is I don't. I'm not one of the mates, I guess. It's very important for myself to try and draw that line, I guess, between the playing side of things and the coaching. Because as a player coach, as soon as you step into that kind of players' kind of environment on the social side, then it becomes very difficult to take that step back and give the judgments to the players and the reviews as to why things aren't going so well for those and why you are or not selecting them for that weekend. So keeping that clear line is very, very important.
And is it difficult selecting yourself or not selecting or dropping yourself? And that can't be easy either, I guess.
No, you try to be as objective as you possibly can. You always try to put the team first for all your selection decisions. So if you feel it's the right solution for that weekend or going forward that you pick yourself, then you do, and you make clear reasons to the team and to those players that don't get the nod as a result of that. And ultimately, if the team performs well, then it's a good decision. If they don't, then it's not.
Now, what people may not be aware of is actually your pedigree as a player. You've played for some seriously big clubs: Harlequins, Gloucester, London Irish, Wasps, and now of course London Scottish. And of course everybody knows about your sevens exploits. In fact, you were the first, I think, inaugural World Sevens player in the year. But through that time, you've picked up a lot of information, I guess, and worked with some great coaches.
It works with fantastic coaches. I mean, working at Gloucester with the likes of Dean Ryan and Nigel Melville, then going down to Wasps and working with people like Ian McGeechan, Sean Edwards, Leon Holden, just to name just a couple. I mean, that's the thing that you try and do as a coach. You try and take the best bits of who you've worked with and what you've seen and learned over a number of years of playing, and then try and put your own kind of stamp on it, what's deep down inside. Because if you step away from what's deep down inside and the way you like to operate as a person, then ultimately you fail. So it's kind of an amalgamation, I guess, of all those kind of thoughts and experiences.
And the club's on a journey now, clearly, and we're probably arguably at the start of that journey, or just left the start, if you like. And there's 5 years, 10 years planned, and Tony has spoken about that to me, and we'll be showing that quite soon. But as far as your objectives are concerned, for instance, the short term, this season, what's your main objective?
Well, first and foremost is to continue to develop the players. For a club that really was, in some of the mid-table leagues, the mid-level leagues, I guess, only 3-4 years ago, it's been quite a meteoric rise. We really are trying to catch up with ourselves in terms of getting our foundations and our fundamentals in place. So keeping that focus on developing players, the club is absolutely number one. And then, of course, there's the desire to get into that top 8 in the Championship. If we achieve that this season, that would be fantastic for the club.
I think we can see this is not an easy league. There's no easy game. It doesn't matter whether you're top or bottom. Everybody's beatable. And really, some of the players who've come on the journey from the league below, they've really stepped up, haven't they? And we're not getting the results necessarily, but it's incrementally getting better each week. And that must be pleasing for you to see as a coach.
Yeah, I mean, it's very pleasing to see how we are making progressions week on week. Of course, it's disappointing to lose narrowly to some of the bigger full-time teams, and the club's ambition, the players' ambitions and expectations are very much to go out and win every single game. So that's obviously very frustrating. But these are all these young players being thrown into a pretty high pressurised environment, and they're learning the trade as they operate. To be fair, so they're making mistakes, but they're making progress each week.
And we saw, this weekend Plymouth away, and a lot of people won't have seen that game, but obviously we lost in the 9th minute of injury time. One of those things. That must be so frustrating for you as a coach. Whether it's a player mistake, whether it's potentially referees have been spoken about recently a lot with the World Cup. Could have been referees. It doesn't really matter. But the whole thing. Do you go home and kick the cat on a Saturday or Sunday night, or how do you react to that?
I guess I'm personally getting better. I was always a very passionate and emotional player.
I can vouch for that.
Yes, a number of referees I think can, but and it's very important for myself to try and in my kind of role as kind of DOR to try and take that step back a little bit and just at times take the emotions and stuff out of certain situations, like the weekend we lost in the 9th minute of injury time. What was absolutely fantastic about the weekend was the way the boys went about their defence in particular was just outstanding. The passion and desire there was just immense, and they're not quite getting the rewards they deserve in terms of the wins, but at the same time we are still making a few too many critical decision-making errors at the wrong times of the game. So that was why we were still in that position where we could lose at the end of the game. If we'd have been a little bit smarter, a bit of better decision-making earlier on, then we wouldn't have put ourselves in that place.
Well, we said a couple of times before, I think it's about working smarter, not harder necessarily. It's just about learning from those things. Now look, this weekend we're playing Bedford Blues here at home. It's the Rugby World Cup final weekend. We've got a big day happening down here. We'll talk perhaps a little bit more about that. But it's another big game, isn't it?
It's a huge game. It's a huge game against, let's be fair, one of the best sides and one of the best attacking sides in particular in the league. I mean, anyone that saw the playoff games at the end of last season will know just how good this Bedford team is, and we'll certainly be going in as underdogs. But we'll keep on making that step up, and with a couple of additions, I think, to our squad, hopefully for this weekend. Then, as always, we'll be there or thereabouts. I just want us to be there this weekend, as opposed to the thereabouts, which is where we've been.
Of course, and I alluded to the World Cup. You alluded to a couple of additions to the squad. We've got some exciting news to bring.
Yeah, no, I'm delighted first and foremost to say we've got Alfredo Lalana, who's the Argentinian international scrum half, who's in the World Cup final against New Zealand, and that kind of leadership and experience is tremendous in a critical position for us right now, and certainly linking him up with some of our younger halfbacks at the moment will be fantastic. Selfishly as well, it also means that obviously I can probably take a bit more of a step further up and away from the playing field, and hopefully try and develop the team.
So is this a scoop now? Are you retiring, or is this, we're not officially going there? We'll come back to that maybe. But okay, so that's great. And also there's another signing.
Yeah, Agustin Gozio, who's another winger that was out with Argentina in the World Cup as well. Fantastic, exciting, dangerous attacking threat, a genuine finisher. And we'll add to our current squad, and I'm just really excited to see how he goes in the championship. He's done some fantastic things for Argentina, and back in Argentina, his homeland, and it's a massive opportunity for him, and one we're quite excited about.
Off the field, I mean, this is why the players want to come to this club. There's a great setup here, isn't there? People like Deutsche Bank, all the other sponsors and people who got involved. It's a great setup for them to come into.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I mean, we are a club that's got an amazing history and heritage. But in the professional age, we are still quite a young club, and we're still developing and learning and growing. And we try to create an environment where people are pushed and challenged. People, it's a very honest environment. People feel they're being developed, but also we create opportunities both on and off the pitch for people. And having the support of a number of great sponsors, and Deutsche Bank is our main one, and be able to link that in with attracting world-class international players. And hopefully said a lot about the place, and we'll try and make it.
Now, of course, the summer was busy for you. You had all the signings thing on, you got the challenge around, and as if that wasn't busy enough, you had Molly to look at as well. So I think your third child. Is that correct? Yeah. How on earth have you balanced everything together?
My wife would probably say poorly, and that I got the balance completely wrong. But no, she's been absolutely fantastic. I've got two young boys as well, Alfie at 4 and Stanley at 2. So to have a little bit of Molly at just about a month old now is fantastic. Life is very, very busy, but it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time to have a young family, and it's a very exciting time to be here at London Scottish and keep on developing and progressing the club to hopefully keep on pushing up towards the top end of the game.
Now, as I said earlier, this weekend is the Rugby World Cup final weekend. We're here at home to Bedford. We've got Mark Sharkey Robinson coming to the lunch on Saturday to represent New Zealand. We've got Paul Volley, bizarrely, coming to represent France because, well, he's drunk a lot of French liquor, I guess, and that's the reason. So, if you're coming to the game, you'll probably see them. If you're coming to the lunch, I think there's still places at the lunch if you want to get involved or get in touch with the office. But there's lots of other things, face painting. We've got the speed pass competition going on, and hopefully it's going to be a big family and fun day and a great atmosphere, because I know the boys really appreciate the noise the crowd makes off the pitch as well, supporting them. Now, you're one of the most intelligent coaches, it has to be said, or directors of rugby. I mean, you were at Cambridge University, and I think you got a degree in management studies, so dealing with people is something. Now, I hear you had dinner next to Prince Philip one night, is that true?
Well, I actually had lunch with the Queen,
Okay.
and I did have dinner, sort of a drink sort of thing with Prince Philip. So yes,
Is there anything you want to tell us about that?
no, it is what I do throw out there. When I've met people famous in life, I do throw those two out a couple of times. But I was fascinated by the Queen's her knowledge of horse racing was exceptional.
Was it really brilliant? And so, it's a marathon, not a sprint. This whole championship thing. If we finished 8th, we'd be happy. 9th, it makes it a tougher end to the season, but it's that learning curve. And really, I mean, if people are expecting to win the Premiership next season, let's get a reality check a second. Actually, there's 4 or 5 sides who are going to be vying for that. But it's a journey I know that everybody's enjoying going on. And if there's one thing you want to say to the supporters, what would that be?
I guess it's a very good question, and it's not one I've got a specific answer to. It's probably to maintain the support's been fantastic. It genuinely has. This is my 4th year at the club, and what I genuinely feel is the support is getting better and better each year in terms of the noise and the passion as well. And it really does make a huge difference to us. This is the first year, I think, in a number of years that London Scottish is probably going into a season where it's not going to be able to, I'm afraid, as much as we want to, we strive to win every single game, which is a unique situation. But so long as we're developing and people can see the progress we're making in certain parts of our game, week in, week out, then I'm hoping that support stays, and the guys and the supporters do generally get behind the guys, because they all are hugely passionate players, and the coaches support stuff about London Scottish being successful.
Now, it may not come as a compliment, but Phil Green the other week when he was here at lunch said that Simon Amor is one of the brightest young coaches there is around, and London Scottish should feel very proud to have him. I'm pretty sure that echoes the sentiments of a lot of the supporters. Simon, thanks for taking time out from juggling family, teams, training schedules, everything else. I really appreciate you talking. And I know you're an approachable guy. If anybody's got any questions on Saturday, maybe not straight after the final whistle, but grab you a bit later on.
Certainly.
Thanks very much.